Today on an all-new Dr. Phil. If her husband doesn't address his OCD,
he stays in the same clothes for weeks at a time.
Their marriage is over.
He can't shower. He can't brush his teeth.
You say he doesn't have time.
It's too overwhelming to him.
He has no job. He has no responsibility, but he has no time to take a shower.
Does he want the help?
Like, what would I do with all that free time?
Something dramatic has to happen if you want to make a right turn. Today's going to be a changing day in your life. You've never had anybody working harder to bring you to the threshold of change than right now. There is a countdown clock running for my guest today. Robin has given her husband, Mike, an ultimatum. He has roughly 5,760 minutes to deal with his obsessive-compulsive disorder, or their marriage is over. Robin wrote me desperate to help her husband, Mike's OCD rituals, which have taken over his mind and body, and it's taken over their marriage. Robin says in the 18 years of watching Dr. Phil, she has never seen me cover a case this extreme. Take a look.
It's unimaginable living with somebody with extreme OCD. Everything is tortured.
I gotta verify it one more time.
And taunted.
That wasn't good enough. So now I gotta go through the whole thing again.
By his OCD thoughts.
All I need you to do is go with me.
No.
Out to the car.
No.
And check one more time to make sure it's empty.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
And you help me throw away the product. So all those things you threw away, the boxes, the product, they're all empty.
Yes. It takes no prisoners. It is never satisfied.
It comes down to I don't trust myself.
But you don't trust me either. Everything in his life is about rituals, orders, routines, counting, checking, validations. In order for him to do the most mundane tasks that we all take for granted, he has to ask and receive permission from his brain. It has increasingly got worse over the last 5 years. He's been unable to hold a job. He stays in the same clothes for weeks at a time. He can't shower. He can't trim his nails. He can't shave his beard. He can't brush his teeth. He doesn't smell good. He doesn't look good. He has no self-confidence. He completely relies on me to get him through. He can't do simple things like opening a refrigerator to get himself something to eat, opening the pantry to get a snack. He tries not to eat so he doesn't have to go to the restroom. He'll get stuck in a restroom for up to 8 hours.
I can't even move out into the bathroom. I'm stuck.
I can't throw anything away until he gives me permission to throw it away. It has become a life completely ruled by paranoia and fearful thoughts.
I don't even know what I'm doing. I get stuck in between rooms.
I am a prisoner of this disease as well. I stopped even considering us really married or a couple probably 6 years ago. I had to give Mike an ultimatum that he has another week to find another place to live because I need to be able to walk away and live with myself regardless of what happens. It's taken the man that I love, the man that I married. It's taken finances. It's taken my future. It's taken us having kids. It's ruined everything in our lives.
This is very painful for you.
Extremely painful, embarrassing.
Why is it embarrassing for you?
This is something for 16 years I have tried to help him hide and protect. It was just easier to keep it a secret and try to get through it and think that I could help him and he would get better and we could have a normal life together, and we just can't lie anymore.
You say that you want my help because if something doesn't happen here, he's going to be homeless because you're at the point where you can't take it anymore, or you're going to crack.
I'm going to crack.
You knew before you married him that he was...
He got Yes, he got diagnosed with obsessive-compulsive disorder after a few marriage counseling visits, and then they recommended he go to a psychiatrist. He got diagnosed with something, he got prescribed a medicine, and I thought we were on the road to recovery.
So you didn't go into it buying into what you have now?
No.
If you knew then what you know now, would you have married him?
Never.
How long has it been since you've been intimate? Years?
Probably years.
I mean, we look at the pictures here, and those are his feet.
Those are his feet.
He walks in your house with those feet. And he doesn't cut his nails, doesn't wash his hair, doesn't take a shower. And you say he doesn't do the normal hygiene things because he doesn't have time.
It's too overwhelming to him at this point. He can't keep up with it. When he was working...
He has no job, he has no responsibility, but he has no time to take a shower.
Oh, he's very busy doing compulsions and rituals all day and night.
Because it may take him 8 hours to go from one room to another.
It may.
Okay, now Robin says she is currently Mike's caretaker, and she feels like his disease is winning this tug-of-war. Take a look.
I have obsessive-compulsive disorder. Living with myself is horrible. There's not a moment in the day I'm not thinking about my OCD. It's always on my mind. It shakes all the time. I'm anxious, anxiety. Order rules my life. Everything has rules. I can spend anywhere up to 2 hours in the shower. There's this very specific order. I scrub the hell out of my head. I gotta wash it and rinse it a minimum of 3 times. I have to do everything the exact right way, otherwise I won't be able to continue. The last time I was probably in there for 4 or 5 hours. A lot of times the water will get cold. This is where I sleep. I'm not gonna be able to get it perfect, because I'll be here all day. If this is not done the right way when I got up, I can't move on to the next step. This has to satisfy the OCD. I gotta let the coffee pot soak for a certain amount of time. Then I gotta wash the top of it, then the filter, in that order. Then I gotta let them dry for a certain amount of time until my OCD is satisfied. The last time I attempted to wash the coffee pot, I hit the 2-hour mark and I just was exhausted. I couldn't go on any further. It's like, who the hell does this? I'm thinking about holding this remote now. What is bothering me, I remembered I haven't washed my hands yet today. I feel like I've contaminated it now. Ideally, I would like to get a Clorox wipe and wipe it down, but it's just too much work going in the cabinet, so I just avoid going in there. Any door's a problem. I'll have to do maybe about 7 times. Then I have to do this, maybe about 7 times. This another 7 times, maybe if I get to 21. 21's supposed to be a lucky number. The OCD has grown. So forget the lock. Now, before I can even shut the door, I have to verify I didn't drop anything. So I have to take inventory of the things that are on the ground. I'll remember what that looks like. I'll think, can I lock it now? I'm not satisfied. So I'll open it again. I'll be opening and closing the door. At minimum 5 attempts. I'm a prisoner in my own head until I can get out of it. Torture, tormenting me. It harasses me constantly. Every moment of the day is agony. I know I'm not crazy, but it's just my OCD doesn't accept it. I'm on the verge of being homeless, and I will end up being alone.
Robin's husband, Mike, says leaving the house was just hell for him, but he says he is committed to making it to the show.
We're preparing to try to leave the house and head down to the Dr. Phil show. It'll be one of the first times in a long time that he's been away from the house. I think he's at a very high level of stress and anxiety at this point.
It's going to be extremely horrible to leave this house, come down, be on stage, and be exposed. Hey, Robin, did I drop anything in the door?
No.
Did you lock the door?
Yes.
For sure?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Leaving my home is hard because I feel like I'm leaving something behind.
Let's go, Mike.
I'm not taking everything I need. Things aren't in order. Inventory isn't taken, so when I come back, I could see if anything has been moved or touched.
Let's go. Come on.
I have a hard time closing doors because on my way into the car, I think I'm dropping something or losing something. And until I'm satisfied, I can't close the door.
Mike.
It's hard for me to get into the car to come to the show. I need to come to see Dr. Phil to get help.
Mike made it here relatively drama-free. This morning backstage, we noticed some visible shaking and ritual room checking, or verification, as he calls it. But I noticed something else I found very interesting, and we're going to talk about that when Mike joins us right after the break.
It was really hard to leave the hotel room.
Mike, we gotta go. Mike, we've got to go now.
Every time you do that, I have to hit the reset button.
No, you don't. Should I go down without you?
I'm coming, Robin. Just give me another minute.
I was able to renegotiate and bargain with my OCD to help me get through it. How you feeling? Horrible. I spent 46 years covering it up. I have to go to the restroom before the show.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life. Harder to get you to the threshold of change than right now.
Tomorrow, he claims his ex-wife won't leave him alone.
We've come out of our house and she's sitting across the road.
And you've been divorced how long?
15 years.
It's a battle of the exes
You say the cops have been to your house 6 or 7 times in a month.
and a fiancé in the middle.
I am afraid that Christy will ruin my wedding.
Julie needs to mind her own business. My problem is with Michael. I don't know this girl. I don't care about her.
That's tomorrow. Then, on Wednesday, they're facing felony charges.
He's protected me for so long.
He takes a gun into a store, allegedly. This is the guy that's protecting you.
That's Wednesday.
I know I'm not presentable the way I currently look. I just don't care anymore.
When was the last time you showered?
A couple weeks ago. Just like anything else with the OCD, it never feels right. Things that should take 5-10 minutes take me anywhere from an hour to 3 hours. It'll take me 3 to 4 hours to do my toenails. It doesn't register that they're cut. Even though I know they're trimmed, my brain doesn't accept it. So I keep cutting them. I get blood everywhere I cut into my skin. That's why I don't shave either. I'll actually start cutting myself. I feel presentable again.
Tell me what your thoughts and feelings are right now.
You know, I've spent over 40 years doing my best to cover it up. I mean, it's just reached that point where I can't take anymore.
How do you feel about the way you look right now? I mean, you're clean shaven. You seem like you've had a shower. You're dressed nice. I mean, we could put you in the audience and nobody would pick you out as the one that's been living this hell for so long.
I mean, it's been there my whole life, and but I've managed to go through school, go through college, had professional jobs. So it just kind of reminds me of what I used to be able to do until it just got so big I couldn't. I just, you know.
Are you at all proud of being here? That you got this done? I mean, you got the car, you got here, you walked down here, you sat here. We're here. I mean, we're here. I mean, you got to give yourself credit for that, right?
Sure.
What do you think about that?
Extremely proud. When he sits in front of people, they have a hard time understanding that he's very sick. Our own friends and family and people who are close to him are just now starting to understand how serious.
With everybody else.
You said you've been hiding it. You didn't want anybody to know.
Keeping it private.
And I'm curious if you judge other people that way.
Well, what do you mean? I mean, what do you mean if I judge
let me
people?
find, Anthony, stand up. Here's an audience member here. Let's assume that he has OCD. He has ritualistic behaviors. He has to go through all of these different behaviors in order to leave the house, to go from one room to another. would you tell him you are shameful, you should hide that, you should hang your head in shame?
No. It'd be comforting to know that somebody else is. Not that I wish it upon anybody, because I don't, but, you know, that's somebody I would like to hang out with, probably.
So you would have empathy for him,
Absolutely.
but not for you. That is really interesting. How about you? Would you shame him?
Absolutely
Would
not.
you put him in a shame tent and
Absolutely
tell
not.
him he needs to hide his head?
No, absolutely not.
But yet you've been part of this mission to hide this in shame.
Because people don't understand. I mean, we have opened up and told people, and they just don't understand. Why can't he just tell him to go? Just tell him to get up. Just tell him to get a job. Just tell him to go out the door. Don't just tell him he can't do that. So it's so complicated to try to explain and to describe to people. And if it were one or two ritualistic behaviors, that would be different. But he has thousands.
But what other people think of you is none of your business. You've been watching me for 18 years. I've been here for 18 years. Where have you been?
Hiding, I guess.
Look, I hate that there is shame associated, stigma associated with mental illness. To me, it's no different than having diabetes or rheumatoid arthritis or any other disorder. You just have to deal with it.
And I'm happy that's coming out. That's one of the reasons I'm here. Last time I cleaned up is when I had to go to, I went to New York to visit my family.
So you cleaned up to go see your family?
Yeah.
Well, actually, Mike's brother, Jason, is here. And he says that growing up, his family was clueless about Mike's OCD. So we're going to meet him, and we're going to talk about that next.
About 6 months ago, Mike came to New York to visit me and spend some time. That's when things really were revealed, just how crippling his disease is.
And later, what if there's a way out of this maze? You've said, I'm not sure I want out.
There's been times where I've been stuck in the bathroom for 8 or 9 hours. I hate even going near it. I mean, I'll purposely avoid drinking or eating just so I don't have to go to the bathroom. That's just one last job I have to do that day, one less task. That's why I really want some water right now, but I'm being careful not to drink too much. It usually takes me at least 45 minutes to urinate. I've positioned the rugs the right way. Now I can enter the bathroom and start the process of going to the bathroom. That's another compulsion, the light. I have to convince myself that it's on. Like on, off, is it on, is it off? I'll say the light's off. Was the light off the entire time I was in the bathroom? If it was, I can't see what the hell's going on in here. I must have peed all over the floor, all over the toilet. I definitely can't leave the bathroom with that rug looking like that. You know, it should be lined up against something. That doesn't look right.
Mike says as bad as he wants his OCD gone, he now considers the illness to actually be a companion. His wife, Robin, says the disease has made her life a living hell. Now, Mike's brother, Jason, says he sees his brother's marriage and life deteriorating before his eyes.
As a kid, I wasn't even aware that Mike had a problem. Didn't even know what OCD was at the time. Looking back now, I could definitely see where there were a lot of signs, constant checking and counting and rituals in his mind. There was times where he would isolate himself and he'd always be in his bedroom. Michael was definitely picked on. He was an easy target growing up as kids. We definitely thought he was odd. In the last few years, things have gotten so bad that he can't even hold a job. His #1 priority is fulfilling his OCD. About 6 months ago, Mike came to New York to visit me and spend some time. That's when things really were revealed, just how crippling his disease is. Everything takes 100 times longer than it should. He was recently stopped by the police because he's doing odd things. He looks suspicious because he's not kept. He's got a really big beard. He's not able to change his clothes. It scares me to think where Mike would be without Robin, because she's 100% been his caretaker. My brother is just one very small step away from being homeless, and it terrifies me.
When he came to see you, what did you notice right off the bat?
Just how withdrawn he is. And, you know, like, normal circumstances, you're excited to see, you know, your loved one and spending quality time together. And, you know, it was a lot of the time he was in the bedroom, you know, and just trapped in there.
How educated are the three of you about OCD?
I feel like I know it too well because it seems like the more I know about it, the more I learn about it, the more it consumes me.
The rituals are many. According to Mike and Robin, it's a lot of things. Washing a coffee pot for an hour, washing hands multiple times, you'll vacuum the same spot repeatedly, getting stuck in different rooms in the house, sometimes for hours on end, checking the phone multiple times, checking pills and prescription bottles, checking trash, cereal box, examining the TV multiple times, touching the phone repeatedly.
Now when I brush my teeth, I count them. Because one of my dreams, I was missing a tooth. And I probably spent, when I woke up that morning, 3 hours or so counting my teeth and making sure they were all there.
These are some quotes that you made that it rules my life, it owns me, I'm OCD's bitch, it's my companion, it's taking over and tormenting life. As bad as I want gone, I don't want it gone.
I wonder about if I did do better, like, what would I do with all that free time?
No, I get that.
Yeah.
No,
I have some ideas.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though I don't want to keep it, I'm always in a paradox. I do want to keep it.
We'll be right back.
I've been telling Mike for a few months that he can't live with me any longer. That's going to be really difficult for him. I used to have so much more patience. I used to be willing to spend hours validating him. And I'm completely over this disease. I have to be willing to give up Mike and our relationship and our future together.
And later,
she uses words now like she's traumatized. And those are words that I thought you would hear if I abused her. I don't do anything on the phone. I don't even talk to people or text. The only reason it's so important to me is it comes back to my music. That's what I'm concerned about. So I expect the phone to be on the bed right now. If it's not, there's problems. The OCD is almost convinced that nothing happened to it. It's about 80% convinced. I'll just need the final 20%. Robin, did anything happen to my phone when you were in there?
Nope.
Did you kick it off the bed?
Nope.
You're not just telling me that because that's what I want to hear.
Nope.
You wouldn't lie to me.
Nope.
You're being serious, right, Robin?
Yep.
So now I'm finally convinced. It's fine. I can get it now. I've gotten the permission. She's validated it. I can now enter the room.
When we talk about this, you do realize this is a disease, right?
Absolutely.
Some of this is involuntary.
Right.
And then it takes on momentum. If this is going to change, something dramatic has to happen. It's not just like we got to ease into this, or he's just going to have to kind of drift back to being healthy. Something dramatic has to happen if you want to make a right turn here. And you've already said, this is over. I'm going to die OCD. I'm going to be this the rest of my life.
Whatever's left of it.
You believe that. Play what if with me for a minute. Play what if, and I'm not saying this is true, but just go down hypothetical highway with me for a minute. What if you're wrong? What if there's a way out of this maze? You've said, I'm not sure I want out. You're ambivalent about getting better, right? Yeah. You make an argument for it, make an argument against it.
I mean, I know it's ridiculous because who wouldn't want to get better? I mean, somebody has cancer.
It's not ridiculous, it's real.
I want to keep it.
It's not ridiculous, it's real. Look, I realize you're ambivalent about wanting to get better. I just want you to want to.
Definitely, 300%.
So you want to.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's what I'm after. Yeah. Because part of OCD, which, by the way, doesn't happen in isolation. It's comorbid with some other things. Depression, anxiety, often occur simultaneously with obsessive-compulsive disorder. And with those things come disruption of neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine and glutamate. Some of the chemicals that allow parts of your brain to talk to other parts of your brain get all disrupted. Mm-hmm. And so now you could go to talking therapies all day long, mm-hmm. and it wouldn't help you if your neurotransmitters are all jumbled up. Mm-hmm. So we have to first take a look at your brain. People think this is just a psychological disorder. It is not. Mm-hmm. So coming up, what's really going on inside Mike's mind? We're going to take a very close look with the foremost brain expert on the globe today. I have brought the best of the best. We'll be right back. Robin and her brother-in-law, Jason, both say they have reached a real frustration point with their ability to help, respond, support, affect change with Mike's OCD. Now, Mike says he's scared without Robin that he won't be able to fend for himself. But I wanted to look into this on a multi-system basis. So I sent Mike on a very special field trip to the Medical Imaging Center of Southern California. It is a cutting-edge facility with super sophisticated services that have created breakthroughs in imaging. Now, they have offices in Santa Monica and Beverly Hills, and the man behind this real genius is my good friend, Dr. Bradley Jabbour. Take a look.
Hi, Dr. Jabbour. This is Michael.
Michael, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What we're going to do today is an MRI. I'm going to have a look at some of your history.
Okay.
So come with me. Try and relax as much as you can. You did a very good job because you can see that we're able to look into your brain. We can actually recognize your profile quite nicely here. And we can see there's some things that we're going to need to talk about, but we'll have more time tomorrow to tell you. So thanks for being such a good patient.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, joining us is Dr. Bradley Jabbour. He is the world's leading neuroradiologist with more than 20 years in practice. Now, he did his residency at Stanford University, his radiology fellowship at the University of Southern California and UCLA. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Let's go to the screen here, and this is healthy looking to you.
Yeah, there are more images that are part of this, but essentially we know that the wiring structure of his brain is normal.
Okay, now, here, this is a bilateral temporal lobe scan, and you're seeing atrophy bilaterally in the temporal lobe. Talk to us about that.
So on the left side, we can see this space, and on the right side, that particular space in the temporal lobe is too generous, too big. Okay. And we can also see some some spaces in the brain that tell us that there's some shrinkage of the brain. We call it atrophy. And
okay, so you're talking about here and here.
Yeah, in the temporal lobe. He's in the second percentile for size, which means that 96 or 98% in his case of people have a larger brain in that particular area, which is a very important part of the brain.
And this area is very important in OCD symptomatology because this involves memory and semantics and talk about what all is involved.
Cognitive processing and information integration. So it's a relay station for many of the networks in the brain.
So what we're telling you is that when you have a difficult time feeling like you have completed the loop on something, so you don't feel as completed, so you have to do it again and again and again and again, it may well be because you have problems in this area where you don't have the cognitive agility, the neuroplasticity to comprehend and get the signal to your brain that I've switched the light off. That's good. I have satisfaction there. Or I've completed this behavior, and so you have to do it ritualistically until finally it clicks. Mm-hmm. And you say, okay, now I'm good. I can pick up the phone now. And that's because of this this contributes to that, correct?
And I think also it's often a result of many years of depression and or anxiety that you get shrinkage in certain areas. So it might be the result of rather than the cause of his current situation.
So what does all this mean for Mike's OCD? We'll talk about that after the break. All right, tell us what we're looking at here.
We have a normal brain where we're looking here at blood flow. Normal blood flow is red. And you can see in Michael's brain that there are big areas of real estate where, in fact, there are no red areas. So that means diminished blood flow.
And then there's part of the brain that's actually overspeeding in a negative sort of way. Let's have a look at the next one, and then we'll talk about what all of this means.
We're looking at the computers in the brain, separate computers. We can separate out all the various different computers. This particular computer in the brain, this is Michael, and this is Michael with an overlay of the normal population, which shows that his brain in this particular frontal area, which deals with a lot with perseveration and thinking and cycles of thought and the rituals, is about 6 times bigger than what it should be, telling us that he has a typical picture of hyperconnectivity that we see in OCD.
Yeah, in a negative sense.
In a negative
It's not
sense,
a good thing. So normal would look like this, and Michael is under that. This is overlaid. Yeah. So his brain looks very different than someone that doesn't have OCD.
That's correct.
Okay, let's have a seat. Now, what do you understand about what we're talking about here? And what does this mean to you?
Some of it looks good, some of it might be off.
And you actually have a very cutting-edge methodology that involves some magnetic impulsing, correct?
We've had good results in helping the patient to overcome some of the comorbid components, which then seems to help the OCD itself.
Yeah, and if we take that and we put it together with some of the other neuroplasticity tools that we have in terms of sound and other things that have proven efficacious with this, there can be a multimodal attack that can bring about, in the aggregate, some significant changes here.
I think we have to be positive about it, because if technology will continue to improve, and this is at the frontier of the technology now.
And you call it?
Transcranial magnetic stimulation, or TMS.
It's non-invasive. In fact, nobody even touches you. It's all magnetic impulses. Yeah. And in addition to that, there are other methodologies that reprogram the neurotransmitters. And I think that is the first step before we start then doing some other types of treatments that have a chance to work once you get the brain awake and you get that brake put back in where you can stop some of this overspeeding. And nobody has ever done anything like this with you before. And if you're willing to participate in this, I think it is a very positive step in the right direction.
Absolutely.
How do you feel about it?
Good. I mean, good. There's no words. Yes, it won't hit me for a while. But I really appreciate you and Doctor and these guys, because, you know, I don't like to be with me, so I can imagine how other people feel. You know, she uses words now like she's traumatized, and, you know, the house I'm not going to be living in anymore. And sometimes I've been over there recently because I haven't found a place yet, but she'll get to a point where she's like, you're invading my safe place. This is my safe place. And I'm thinking, those are words that you hear, I thought you would hear if I abused her.
We're going to help her a lot as well going forward, but I want to know that you have some hope now.
I do.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Okay? All right.
For help for a long time. Thank you so much.
All right.
You saved his life.
I'm sorry?
I truly believe you saved his life.
Well, we're going to give it everything we got.
Thank you so much.
All right. You glad you came?
Yes, I'm glad.
All right. Fair enough. All right. Coming up, we'll meet a police officer who says she needs help. We'll meet her and hear her story next. My next guest, Amy, was a demolition derby driver, an EMT, and is now a police officer. At only 35, she says her busy, stressful life has left its mark on her skin. Amy says she spends $300 a month to try and improve her skin, but she wants to spend a whole lot less to look a whole lot better. Here's her story.
I've been a police officer for 12 years. Being a police officer is a crazy job. I've been in fights, pursuits, uses of force, you name it, I've done it. I'm the type of person that likes to live on the edge. Aside from all that, I do a lot of things to try to keep a youthful appearance. Working nights and being exposed to the sun, it's definitely taken a toll on my skin. Changes I'm seeing in my skin are bags and dark circles under my eyes, lines on my forehead, and I see dark spots on my cheeks. I'm doing everything to battle my skin problems. I've spent probably $300 a month on skincare products, procedures. It's just crazy because the amount I spend is basically a car payment. I've done everything I possibly can for my skin. Microdermabrasions, chemical peels, facials, high-end makeup, creams, serums, masks, and nothing's really giving me the results that I'm looking for. I am looking to bring back my youthful appearance without having to spend a fortune.
Well, as a police officer, Amy does a lot for her community, and she said she could use a little help.
Hi, Amy.
Hi.
I'm Nicole.
Nice to meet you.
I heard you were in desperate need of a skin intervention.
Finally, somebody to my rescue. Come in.
Thank you. I hear you work a very physical job in law enforcement, and you're starting to see some changes in your skin.
I work many hours out in the sun.
Can you tell me a little bit about your current daily skincare routine?
There's so many things I've tried, and I've spent hundreds of dollars doing it, and I'm tired of not seeing the results I want.
I think I can help. I have a product that can tackle most of your skin issues, so let's go take a step over to the mirror.
Okay, great.
This is a retinol moisturizer. It's by a very well-known skincare brand, but I'm not gonna tell you which one yet.
Okay.
I wanna get you started with this product because it will help even out your skin tone and reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles.
Okay.
So you should apply this every night before bed.
Okay.
And the good news is that most women that have tried this product, after 28 days, they said they can even go without wearing foundation.
Oh, that'd be great, because it's not like my first priority is putting foundation on when I'm at work.
Let's give it a try. How does it feel?
I like it. It's silky and it's smooth.
So do you think for the next month you can forego your traditional routine of pricey products and procedures and just stick with this one product instead?
I'm willing to try anything.
Perfect. I'm gonna check back in with you in a few weeks.
Well, Amy and Nicole, thank you both for being here. Now, Amy, I know you've been using a secret skincare product at home for about a month, right?
I have.
And Nicole, so go ahead and reveal the secret.
Surprise, I am here on behalf of one of my favorite brands, Olay.
Oh my gosh.
You have been using Olay's new Retinol 24 facial moisturizer.
Oh my gosh,
Okay,
wow.
so after using this product for a month, did you see any changes?
I did. My skin was softer, smoother, and brighter. It felt more moisturized, and I even saw some of my fine lines start to disappear.
Amy, so Olay spent 10 years perfecting this formula to give noticeable results in just 28 days. So we wanted to surprise you so you can see for yourself just how amazing results can be in such a short amount of time for a fraction of the cost. So you no longer need to invest $300 a month because you can get it at your local store or Olay.com for less than $30.
That's amazing.
So, Nicole, I understand that you have something for Amy.
I sure do. So you saw Retinol 24 do amazing things for your skin. Well, Olay has other moisturizers that will give you incredible results in just 28 days as well. So we're gonna send you home with a year supply of Retinol 24.
Thank you.
And their micro sculpting cream.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
And audience, Olay did not forget about you because you're all going home with both moisturizers as well. All right. So I'd like to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to Nicole Isaacs. Thank you so much. I love hearing from you at home on social media. I ran across this one on Twitter from Paula. She says, I'm a huge fan, and you look like my dad, except for the mustache. Paula, with or without a mustache, if your dad looks like me, well, he's probably a pretty good-looking guy, right? So be sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and keep your comments and tweets coming. I read them all, and you just might wind up me reading it here. Who knows? We'll see you next time. Thanks so much.